today we're going to work on a project that combines several things we've learned. We're going to work with how to use text wrapping to add a short little poem or facts about the giraffe. Then we're going to go and use the vertical type tool. And finally, we're going to review how to use clipping mask. The first thing I want to do is I want to use the pen tool to draw around where I want to have my text wrap. So remember, with the pen tool, okay, we can just click some straight lines. Only when we are where we need to kind of curve do we need to hold the point down. So if you notice, I'm not having to click like every couple steps. Okay, remember, I can just pull and drag a little bit on that easier curve. We're going to want to leave enough space for a margin here as well. A good practice would have probably been to go ahead and draw some lines. Now I'm going to hold the Shift key down, and I'm going to do that because we want to make these lines here straight, okay, and make sure that they connect back to each other. Then I can click my text tool, and I know this will work because when I place my cursor inside here, if you notice, it changes to a circle. So that lets us know that we're going to be typing into a shape. Okay, really quick, if I wanted to, I can adjust my fonts for something kind of easy to see. I can use my scrubby slider. Okay, I can also go through and with my text, I can paste some lorem ipsum, so I can have some sample text. If you notice, it looks like I've got a lot of line spacing. Okay, so over here on the right side, this is our line spacing. So I want to make sure I've got that a lot easier to read. A good practice would be to go ahead and set your tracking up to 0. Probably get your line spacing, something normal, maybe 20 points. Maybe start with your text like 20 or 30. So that way when you paste your text in there, it will be a little bit better to work with. Okay, so now from here I've got my text. Again, I may want to adjust my line spacing some. I can adjust the size of my text. I definitely may need to choose a better color for my text. If we want to avoid hyphenations, we can highlight our text. This isn't under character, but if we scroll down under paragraph, there's this little box that says hyphenate. So you can check or uncheck that for the hyphenation. Okay. Another good thing that you can do is with the glyphs, you can change so some words go together. Okay, so I've added some other text here. So I don't want the A to be on its own line, so I'm going to hit enter. So that way that's on there. And then for, I'm going to hit enter again, so that way it's a little bit better. Okay, so now we have our limerick here for our giraffe. Next, I want to add the word giraffe on the left. So I'm going to go to my text layer. I'm going to do the vertical type tool. Okay. Okay, so for your assignment, you're going to be having to apply a clipping mask to this. So you're going to want to make sure you choose a font that's really kind of bold, bright, that has enough space for you to fill the text in. And we're going to be doing a clipping mask with the animal pattern. Now all I have to do is go and select my giraffe print, Control A, edit copy. I want to go ahead and add a new layer, edit, paste. Okay. Now with this, I'm going to do Control T because I want to rotate this. And I want to use this for several of the letters. So here's the key. I don't want to necessarily enlarge it like that because that may pixelate it way too much. So instead, what I can do is I can get my layer here, hold the Alt key down, drag down, and drag down a little bit more. Now I have 4 pictures of the giraffe print, and I want to merge those together. So I'm just going to select all of those, right-click, and merge. Okay, now if you remember how to do a clipping mask, and I want to make sure it's right above the word giraffe. So now I can just right-click and do Create Clipping Mask, and boom, all the letters are filled. Finally, to make it stand out a little bit better, I probably want to add an effect. So I can click FX, and I may want to do a stroke to make it stand out a little bit better. Again, I can figure out what color I want this stroke, the size, and the opacity. Okay, I did make a mistake here. When you're doing the layer effects, make sure you're on the text layer and not the clipping mask layer. So I've got it correct here, and remember I can right click and I can copy a layer style, go down to the part where I've got and the ladder, because that's the rest of the name of the poem, right click and paste layer style. So now I've got my poem, the giraffe, and the ladder. Okay, so this is a review of how to use the pen tool to draw around, how to add vertical text, and how to apply a clipping mask. All right, so let's review really quick. First thing I probably want to do is duplicate this layer. Okay, then I want to use the pen tool. So remember, I'm not holding anything. So only when you get ready to make a curve do you need to hold your mouse. So right here, I'm going to hold my mouse and drag. So now I get that corner. I get that curve in there. If you make a mistake, you can always Control Z. See, and again here, it's a little bit hard for me to keep a straight line. So if I hold the Shift key down with the pen tool, that will help me make completely straight lines. Okay, so I can click my Type tool. Okay, and I know that won't work because it did not go into a circle. Okay, and now that I have the circle in here, now I can click and add my text. Okay, I just copied the text I had from the other design, and then I can adjust the font really quick. Okay, and if I feel like it's still a little bit too close, I can actually go to the Move tool. Yeah, and I can actually kind of move that just a little bit if I wanted to. Okay, and so the second part of this, if you remember, is the vertical type tool, which we can type over here, and we're just going to type the word giraffe. Okay, so I've got my text, I've got my giraffe. Okay, so now I just want to put my pictures over here, and again, I'm just going to hold the Alt key down, and so that way I can duplicate that. Okay, and again, I want to merge these two together, so I'm going to highlight both of those, right click, and merge the layers. I can add dry print. And if you notice, so I have my text under that and my giraffe print on top. So on the giraffe print layer, that's the one where I'm going to do Create Clipping Mask for it to show through. As you saw, that did not work, which is okay as long as we know why, and that's because I need to make sure that I had the giraffe print directly over the word giraffe. Now I can right click, Create Clipping Mask, go back to my giraffe layer, if I want to add a really quick drop shadow stroke to make those stand out a little bit better. Again, I can adjust the opacity, I can adjust the color of them. Okay, and again, once I have that, if I wanted to, I could right click, copy layer style. I could go back up to my V layer, right click, paste the layer style. Okay, and I could go and do the same thing for the and the ladder layer as well. This is another tutorial from Southern Lee High School, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Finally, I did want to go back really quick and change my font color. On that, I think I was missing a good opportunity there. Okay, so for my and the bladder, as we're in the poem, and the ladder. And again, I can click right up here and find one of these great fonts. To use, and then once I get that, I can actually go and copy that straight onto the other one, and then I'll be finished.